Hello, everybody. Welcome to Sounds of 505. Uh, welcome to the channel if you're new, or welcome back if you're a lovely subscriber. Uh, yeah, so if you've been subscribed for me a while, you're probably like, Nick, this is the third time you've done this top 100 albums thing, and you start it, but then you don't finish it. Yes, I know this is the third time I've done this so far. First time, I mean, the third time I've started this. Um, First time I did this, I went album by album, but then I got to a certain point, then I stopped doing it. But then the second time I did like a bunch of albums at once. Then I also gave up on that. So this time I'm gonna go album by album again. I won't I won't delay this anymore. I won't redo it anymore. This is the first and last time I'm gonna do this. Be patient with me. I'm very sorry. But without further ado, let's get right into this. Of course, this is a brand new series. Well, it's new, but at the same time, it's not new. So, but this is basically counting down all 100 favorite of my albums. Of course, subject to change. Uh, this isn't like set in stone. I mean, there's a handful of albums that will constantly be on the list, but then there's a lot of albums where it's like albums that I love at the moment that might not make the list again if I remake it. So take this list with a grain of salt. Just gonna say that right off the bat. But and another noteworthy thing to say is that these videos are gonna be very short. Uh, it's probably gonna be one of the longer ones because of me explaining everything. But yeah, it's gonna be 5 to 10 minutes long. Uh, 10 minutes at most, probably 5 minutes the shortest. So yeah, it's gonna be quick videos. I'll try to pump out 5 or 10 of these videos when I do them, so that you guys don't like watch like a 5 minute video and then be like, oh, so I have to wait a long time for just one more. So I'll try to crank as much as possible and then uh, basically do that. So short video, try to crank as much as possible, and again, start a new series. Again, I apologize for anyone who's like, how much times are you gonna reboot the series? Well, this will be the last time I do this uh, with without completing it. I mean, I'm gonna complete it this time. I promise this time. But getting all that junk out of the way, all that junk I have to say out of the way. Inside Out by The Association. Uh, this album was released, to be the exact date, June 8th, 1967, and gave you a little background. I'll give you. I'm gonna give you a second. I'll pull it up. Here's a little bit of
background information.
Okay, so background information. Of course, this is their third album by the Association. Uh, as I said, it was released June 8th, 67. They started recording this March 27th of 1967. So pretty close. I mean, I gotta say the recording of this album didn't really take them that long to record this album, which is pretty cool. This was on the Warner Brothers label. Um, this is the first album to have Larry Ramos on as their guitarist and vocalist. After, of course, after lead guitarist Jules Alexander left the band. Uh, they also got a new producer. I can't Bones Howie or Bones Howe for the first time. He actually recorded. He actually was a producer for the Mamas and Papas and the Turtles. So some pretty big names that this guy worked with in terms of American artists. Oh, hey Jason, thanks for popping by. Good choice. Yes, this is an album I really like. I mean, me and Jason right now we're going through a association series right now. So, well, we'll see if I have any more association albums on here. Going back to my background info though, um, they were trying to. The producer wanted them to go for a more commercial feel after the second album, which didn't do quite well compared to the first album, which was, and then along came the association, and the last album was Renaissance, which practically did nothing, which to me is a big shame because I think Renaissance is a great album. I love Renaissance. That album is slightly getting better and better with each listen, but undoubtedly didn't do much for them. Of course, they did all their instruments and all that, but and they produced it themselves too, which is also very impressive on that album. But they didn't get the singles. Well, they did have singles, but they didn't do as well, sadly. But uh, they would end up getting session musicians for this album because, again, their producer had lack. They really started to lack faith on the association when it comes to producing and all that. So they did that, and they, of course, this is when the psychedelic movement started coming by. So they're trying to make the association more hip, trying to make it more accessible to new audiences that are coming around, of course, because not many people are really digging the pop sound of the early mid '60s at this time. Now they're like, hey, get some psychedelic rock in there, and well, we got they actually did make a psychedelic song. Once He Ain't Getting. Um, I'm gonna be honest, it's probably one of my least favorites on the album. I like Wanting and Getting, but it feels very out of place on the album. I mean, it didn't decrease my score for the album, and I thought it was a good song. Uh, Another noteworthy thing is that their bassist Brian Cole does lead vocals on this album for the first time. Only one song though. That's Reputation. I thought that was a terrible song. Definitely the worst song. Uh, it's not. I mean, I wouldn't say it's. I said it's terrible, but for the association, I say it's terrible. Like for their standards, like for the stuff that they're able to make, like their great harmonies, their great music. For them, it's terrible. On its own, it's not bad, but they have a standard, and yeah, I'm glad Brian Cole never sung after that. Pretty terrible. Um, but yeah, it's went reached number 8 on the Billboard Top Album. So this is I believe this is one of their higher selling albums, which it's great. I like the fact that they're getting album exposure, especially after how poorly the last album did. Well, we got 2 big singles on the album. We got Windy and Never My Love. And both songs are amazing. Windy, Never My Love, especially Never My Love. Never My Love is a song that I talk about constantly, constantly on this channel and on every other channel. This is a song that if you never heard before, you got to check out. Never My Love. It's a song that's like, it's a ballad. It's beautiful. Uh, yeah, this is definitely one of the best hits of the 60s. It's my favorite hit of 67. If you didn't watch my top hits of the 67 with Jason, definitely check that video out. Yeah, this is fantastic song. And Windy, it's another amazing hit song. Everyone knows it's windy. Yeah, I mean, come on. It has the patented harmonies, great vocals. Yeah, Windy and Never My Love, those two songs really boost the album up to a different level, in my opinion. Now let's talk about other songs though. Wasn't It a Bit Like Now is a fun song. On a Quiet Night. That's an amazing song. On a Quiet Night. Very beautiful. And then there's some other great songs too, like Happiness Is, We Love Us, Requiem for the Masses is another great song. Um, yeah, I'm gonna give my top 5 for the album now. Number 5, We Love Us. Number 4, Requiem for the Masses. Number 3, Sometime. Number 2, Windy, and number 1, Never My Love. And this album is so good. I think this is one of those albums where it's like psychedelic on one song, which I'm still not crazy about them going psychedelic, but the other songs is just continuing their great harmonies, their great ballady sounds of the first 2 albums. But yeah, this is definitely deserved its chart status. I think this is an amazing album. Of course, I gave this album a 10 out of 10 when I reviewed the album with Jason, and well, to me, the albums just keep getting better and better. Well, next video, which I will be recording right after this one, I'm going to be doing number 99. So until then, see you then on that video. So long.